here. Okay. I positioned this bad that my hair is too big that is covering up my nice watermelon, which is, now I have to like lean. This is a watermelon, giving free Palestine. We'll get into it. Okay. Intro song of the day. Okay. Wow. Isn't this pretty? Listen to this.
Baby, I really don't got love for Miami, but for you, I put my toes in the sand.
Okay, nice.
I don't need no extra sun. I took it all in, homegrown, baby.
Okay, you know it. Do you know it?
Under all of this skin, homestead.
We're talking about homestead. This is why I chose this
Fully cheese
song.
and mangosteen. Where you brave to float the rain for me.
Okay, this is Mangosteen, Sailorr, and BIAKO by Nascent. This is a great album. I love this song, Mangosteen. And when I first heard it so long ago, I was like, wow, a song to reference Miami and not liking it. That's hashtag relatable to me. Miami is making me think of my hometown because that's where I'm from. And welcome to Classroom Crush. And we're talking about stuff that actually happened in our hometown because Classroom Crush is actually about childhood crushes, stuff like that. I'm Rebecca. This is bonus edition. Like, we're kind of coming through with an absolute returning guest. We're chilling. It's actually so hot today in California where I am currently, where my guest once was and then decided to abandon me. I said, oh, I have a friend in LA. And then he was like, no, you don't. I'm abandoning you, actually. And we're excited. We're talking hometown vibes, and we're going to talk about so many other things as well, because there's so many things happening in the world. Everything is happening at the same time. All of it is bad. All of it is bad. Don't let them make you think it's not all bad. It's really all bad. But that can only mean that you can make it better? Question mark? Okay, we're going to get into it. Maybe I smoked a little too much weed. It's okay. This is a bonus episode. This is what people are actually tuning into for the loosey-goosey, incredible reflections that we're going to have today. Today he's hilarious, first of all. We're laughing. He's an ass guy. He said it. He claimed it. He made it the title of his comedy special now on YouTube. Okay, watch it on YouTube. Writer, director. Like I said, if you're not a multi-hyphenate, you're not on my show. Don't try to come on my show if you don't have multiple hyphenates, okay? The Booth, coming to you soon, especially if you give him that ka-ching money. It's Niles Abston. Welcome back, Niles.
Hello.
Hi. Did you like my intro?
It was great. I'm trying to think. I did your podcast with was it 4 years ago?
Oh my God, would that be 4 years ago? Probably, because I think it was 2022.
Yeah, I remember I was in Kansas City for a show, and we did it before I had to go to the show.
That's so crazy. The time how that has flown. Wow. My life changed a lot from that time. But it's crazy. Like 4 years is so long.
Yeah.
That's a long time. And then I finally moved to your city and you said, peace out, bitch. That's what he did. We hung out and he said, bitch, I'm leaving. And I said, Niles, you can't yell that at me in public. That's not cool.
That's exactly how it went down.
Yeah, for the record. Yes, you left. You departed us. You said it's time to go on to new adventures. Talk about it.
Yeah, I got some things I got to figure out. I just, made a movie, and movies cost money. Doing them on your own and independent. So,
talk about it. Let's just do the plugs right now. We're talking about money to make these movies, baby. Yeah. Niles has an incredible movie. I've seen scenes from the movie. I watched it actually when I was back home in Miami over the weekend. And I'm absolutely having to try to be quiet because everybody's sleeping because I'm laughing so loud from my room. This movie is going to be incredible. Please go to Niles's Kickstarter. Send some cash money his way. So because we're on post. I'm including myself in this for no reason. I did nothing for the film, but
We're promoting it. You're helping promote it. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
It's been a rewarding experience. It's been very, very tough. It's definitely like the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah,
Uh, career wise. But I'm black, so I've definitely done things harder than make a movie, or experience things tougher than making a movie.
right.
But career wise, this was very tough to do. But it's been so much fun, and it's cool that like me and my friends are just we get to make all the decisions considering the movie because we made this. We did it independently, but that also comes with its own problems and snags and stuff. And so yeah, it's just like I've been just very candid, like, yo, we need more money to finish this.
We need
Like
money.
it's just
I was shocked because I mean, Niles told me, like when he was shooting, like blah, 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 it's like so much work, blah, blah, blah. But then I saw these scenes and it's like, okay, there's literally so much cast, there's so much production. Like this is a whole ass movie. If you're thinking you're coming here for walking around mumblecore and we're talking and we're walking and there's two characters and we need hundreds of thousands of dollars for that. No, that's not even it at all. We're talking a big whole movie.
Anti-mumblecore is not even funny.
He hates mumblecoring. I had
think
been a
that
fan
era-
for a while. I will say
think
I
that-
liked it.
Yeah, it was done well
There
by
are some good
people.
stuff, but here's the thing: this is not a time to be mumbling. This is a time to be shouting, bitch.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I think the way where we're at as far as just like the internet, entertainment culture, what's going on in the world, I just think the era of mumblecore type indie films is just over.
Yeah.
Someone proved me wrong, but it's just like this whole like, yeah, it's two people walking around and they talk, and it's just like, who gives a fuck?
There's simply no urgency, and I need urgency in art right now because simply people are being killed, every single day.
That, and it's just like, how are we going to get younger people to get into these films and stuff that aren't heavily marketed if it doesn't have things in it that they care about? If I was 19, I just wouldn't care about two pretty people walking around LA on a date. I'm sorry. Like, that's just not.
And now I'm dying. Look at how I die at that.
Yeah.
Like you said that, and I had a visceral reaction of coughing.
And so we wanted to make a movie where, love it or hate it, you're never gonna forget this movie. Like you've seen the 3 scenes that I sent you.
Yeah.
And they are like they're just very they're distinct. They have a perspective, and they're wild. And if you love it, you're never gonna forget it. If you hate it, you're never gonna forget it. And so like we were just like, we have a little over $100,000. Like let's make something just like insane, to where like it's gonna make noise, because I just feel like when you make those like mumblecore films, like okay, cool, it'll get into like a festival because they're biased towards that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Because they probably made that type of stuff. But then after the festival, then what? And so I wanted to make something that's gonna travel. I wanted to make something that's gonna make some noise, and that young and old people alike will be able to fuck with it.
We need quotable films again. You know what I'm saying?
With the
lasting.
Thing, that's the other thing with the mumblecore thing. You those aren't quotable or really rewatchable.
Right. And or like I also just feel like, like art should be reflective, right? And I just don't think that is reflective of our times right now.
No,
like
not.
And if that is reflective of your time right now, like make some changes, okay? Because I have not had, I can't remember the last like sort of low key, boring, passive conversation I had. I don't have it in me, bro. I don't have it in me.
Everything's kind of psychotic right now.
Yeah. All at once.
That felt like that. I would definitely describe it as psycho for sure.
We gotta go psycho because it's all that's meeting the moment, okay?
Yeah.
We have to meet the moment, and the Oscars happened last night, and we'll say there's a lot of people not even meeting the moment at all. I'd say there's one guy meeting the moment, and his name, Javier Bardem.
That was dope.
He was it is so crazy. And like, me, I don't expect much from these ones anymore. I've tempered my expectations from these celebrities, this industry, this Hollywood nation, you know. But it is so nuts when you think about how we're happening World War III, where it's happening. We're doing it right now. It's happening. And nobody's talking about it. Like nobody's talking about it. It's crazy.
Nope. When you say nobody's talking about it, or people in a particular space aren't talking about it?
No, like what I mean on that show. I'm like on that show. To me, it's like
go ahead.
No, I don't know why I'm shocked at all, but I'm like even the fact that he was literally the only person to say anything of war at all. I'm just like, it's pretty. You don't even have to be so. I just feel like it's a really easy thing to be like, war sucks, man. You know what I mean? Like, that's so easy to just be like, hey, man, looks like war's happening, and that sucks. Like, that just to me seems obvious, but I'm realizing more and more things that are obvious to us are so disconnected to the reality that, or it'll be the thing where I'm sure so many people, and he's said it in the past, are like quietly whispery supportive of the thing, but won't say it out loud of their own mouths. And I'm like, that's even fucking worse, you know?
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like there was more people that he's the one that like specifically said the words free Palestine.
Yeah.
But I feel like there were people up there that did say things that alluded to what's going on is wrong and things like that.
Maybe I didn't catch it.
Yeah, because like the dude that made the documentary short, he definitely talked about that.
No, I mean those people, of course. The people that, no, those artists.
I feel like Conan said some things.
What did Conan say? I missed it.
He said some things are just about that we're definitely not in a time of peace right now and things like that, and it made fun of Trump a lot and stuff. And then there's another project that won something. It's not like one of the glamorous awards, but they had brought up that one of their collaborators was Iranian and was wasn't there because they were having a baby.
Having a baby. Yeah.
It was a few people that got up
from
there.
the people from those. I'm just like these. I don't know the celebrity, like the red carpet celebrity fucking thing of it all. I don't know how you have such platforms and you just like don't actively, And
me personally, I don't judge. I try not to judge people by specifically how they present themselves at an award show. Because I think that's also like a thing of like, you've worked so hard to get to this point and you do this thing. Like, you kind of want to talk about yourself and thank your agent. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like the platform thing goes farther than your 45 seconds on TV. Like, what are these people doing outside of that? What are they? Where do they donate their money? Where do they volunteer? What are they talking about when they do their interviews and things like that? I try not to like boil people down to just like the 45 seconds on stage because a lot of them, it's a lot going on. Like for instance, like Autumn, I forget her last name. She's the first woman to win.
That was crazy.
I really wanted her to win. I wasn't expecting her to. And I was so excited. And you could just tell, like, her walking up stage, her eyes were like glazed over. Like, is this even real? So, like, a lot of times, a lot of these people are just like, the moment is just so crazy. Like, it just uttering any kind of words is an amazing thing,
No, you're right. It's true. People, it's true. You're right. It's like.
But I do get what you're saying. I understand.
I want it because my thing is I'm just like, I think the problem for me, because I'm like, I also am existing in both worlds where I'm like, I give a fuck about the stuff we're talking about and I'm watching the Oscars because I've like grown up watching the fucking Oscars and I love the movies and I hate the shit, but I watch the shit, So I'm like, considering the bread and circuses of it all, I'm sort of like, how do we have this, like these big events? Because this is not like the only big event that's going to be happening. Like, there's going to be this fucking FIFA World Cup. Don't get me started. There's going to be the Olympics. There's going to be all of this stuff that, is like, is also meant to be this big, like, illusion that we're in this other world of glamour and etc. that is like separate from everything else that's happening. So I just wonder how like people who are in the public who do care about these things, like can sort of destroy that illusion. Like that's what I'm sort of interested in. And like, because I do think that there are people who care and are doing stuff and are probably like walking the walk more and more, but I'm just like, we need to be so public about how much we care about this stuff and make it so normal that it's happening at the same time as our quote unquote regular lives. You know what I mean?
I definitely agree because with it being in LA, it would have been nice to hear someone's stance on ICE.
Right.
Like the Oscars happened on Hollywood Boulevard at the Dolby Theater, literally down the street at the Home Depot on Sunset. They were rounding people up. So like that's a 5-minute drive from where the Oscars is at.
Yeah.
So it would have been nice to see that. But I know personally because I lived in LA that there are people that won awards and that were there that have done things to help people that have been taken by ICE and their families and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Whether that be donations or using their platform or helping people get organized and stuff. So, just because they didn't say anything on TV doesn't mean that
I hear and I consider your opinion and I agree with some of it. I just think the same thing we're talking about with mumblecore. I'm just like, I just need the volume up on fucking everything because the volume is up on their violence,
and the thing is, that's the type of person I am, know. Someone told me the other day, they were like, no one ever has to wonder how you feel about things or
exactly.
Thank you for saying that because that's because I have a joke where I start the premise with like I feel like your gay and trans friends should never have to like worry about where you stand when it comes to like their rights and stuff.
Right.
'Cause I think for all like any of us that are like either people of color or gay or trans, like you have a friend and sometimes you probably even wonder like how do they actually feel about black people? I know they're cool with me, but like how do they feel about black people as a whole or who do they vote for? And I feel like the people in your life should never have to worry or like wonder where you stand on those things. Like that should never be up for debate or an issue. That's how I feel.
And that comes with being vocal also, right?
Exactly.
Like, unambiguous. That's the thing. Ambiguity, ambivalence, these AMB words, no more. Not today, okay? It's how we ended up here, but we don't have to get more depressing. But I mean, just on the trans ship, just because I like to do current events, because I am allowed. NYU Langone did end gender affirming care for trans youth. This is a very big deal. Please do not stop thinking about trans people. It's everything is exactly the same. I saw a very horrible thing about women in Florida who were forced to have C-sections by a Florida judge because of these insane like pro-life fucking laws. Everything that is wrong in the world is tied together. Do not let them think that you have to choose one fight over another. They are all the same thing. We need liberation and not peace, as Kwame said. That's one of the best quotes. Okay, we've done our current events. Everything's going horrible, but we're together on Zoom. They haven't taken Zoom from us yet. We'll see. They're probably watching us. And we can wave hi. Niles, you're back home in your hometown. Much like I was back home in Miami before coming to LA, having a lot of so many thoughts about my childhood and reflecting on it. Yeah. How have you found this experience for yourself?
It's a mix of emotions. Some days are better than others. Some days it's like, what the fuck am I doing here? This is bullshit. I need to get the fuck out of here. But then some days it's just like I'll see something or I'll run into someone from a long time ago and like I'll just really appreciate like where I've come from and what I've done since, and then just like the things that like made me who I am here and things like that. And so like it's definitely been interesting, and I've just had a lot of time to reflect because there ain't shit to do out here. But
Right. Okay,
but
so what are the things that are making you feel like this is bullshit? We'll start there. And then what are the things that are like lighting you up?
I there's nowhere to do stand up out here. So I'm just kind of like I just
Hmm.
have all these thoughts and ideas and everything. And so every day I just feel like restless and anxious because like I don't have anywhere to put them. So that's been really tough. Not being
Did
able to
you did you
other
ever have the instinct or the feeling to want to like bring that to your hometown? Because I always struggle. My problem with Miami was like I've wanted to leave it my whole life because it did not have the things. It was not the place for me to do the things I wanted to do. But then part of me was like, am I supposed to stay here and like create the film scene and cultivate this and do the, and try to make it happen? And then I choose, my own peace and happiness
Yeah.
instead. But I battled with that a lot when I was back in Miami for sure. Cause there were some spaces that I was like, ooh, this is hopeful.
I
Um,
think I think it depends on where you're at in your life. I mean, I left Mississippi when I was 18 and
mhm,
I moved to LA when I was 20. And so it's just like I didn't have the resources or anything to bring stuff to here.
totally. Yeah.
But now as a 31-year-old man that's written television, directed a movie, been
Hmm.
a part of some really big, cool shit in the industry, now I know how I could do that. So yeah, I've thought about like trying to figure out projects and things here and stuff like that. And I'm progressing toward figuring that out. Like I have a movie that I want to make out here. I have a TV show
Right.
that I want to make out here, like that type of thing.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, eventually, but I feel like a lot of times when you're from a place that just doesn't have the resources or the infrastructure to do it, it can
Mhm.
really burn people out because they're just like, oh, I gotta do this for my hometown. And it's just kind of like, yeah, but you also gotta have the right people around and the resources and people to pour into you and stuff because that's
Yeah.
just gonna burn you out. So yeah, I'm glad I moved to LA and learned I wouldn't be able to do any of these things or know any of these things or have the craft and stuff without living in Los Angeles. So now that I have that though, I'm definitely seeing ways that I could bring that here just
Right.
from being here and seeing stuff. So
Did you remind me, also did you also just like always growing up there want to leave there? Did it
yes,
you felt too big for it?
yes. Since I
Yeah.
was my mom said I would talk about it all the time as a child. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's like since like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like I was trying to get up out of here. Um,
Right.
I would think of ways like how could I move? Like, yeah. So my whole life was just trying to get out of here. So,
Is
um,
it's like a weird thing that I'm like, how do like I mean I thought about it a lot when I was back in Miami. I'm just like this relationship is fractured. Like I have always felt hurt by you, and I think I have
yeah,
more of an understanding now. Like because I was there for 7 months, which I don't wish that for you. I don't wish that upon you.
well,
It definitely happened to me. It happened to me. Sometimes that just happens. But there was a baby in town. There were other things. But I think I started to understand more why I had such a tough relationship with it, which was mostly to do with like I mean, it's an absolutely backwards place politically. Like before I even knew anything about like politics, I was just like a young girl with simple empathy guiding her heart. And Miami is not necessarily a place that like politically values that. And you look around and it actually, when I was there, I was like, oh, it becomes more and more obvious to me. And yeah, it's a lot of problems. And those are the things that I'm like, no matter how much I try, I don't know that I could change that landscape. So I don't
yeah.
think that I'll ever feel comfortable there, you
Yeah,
know?
one person can't do that. But
Right.
you never know. You might get to the point where people are so interested in you and what you do that they're gonna want to come partner with you and help you with that. So
Mm,
it's one of those things of like you just got to keep becoming the artist you're supposed to be, and then
right.
eventually that'll fall into place.
Right.
Because 5 years ago, I wasn't thinking about trying to do anything out here.
Really. What
Yeah,
do you
but
think? What changed for you about like wanting to do a
well,
story there?
the movie I wrote about out here set in when I was in high school. It was the first movie I ever wrote because it was just like I
Mhm.
was just reading this thing of like write what you know. and I was 20,
Exactly right.
and I was 21. I was like, well, I was in high school 3 years ago, and I had a bunch of crazy shit happen when I was in high school.
What I
So
know is what just happened to me over there.
exactly. So I wrote that, and I basically put like some of the craziest things that happened to me in high school, and I
Mm.
put them all in one day, and I made a movie about it.
I love it.
I wrote a movie about it, and
Yeah.
that's what got me signed to CAA and everything. And so,
Mm.
like the first movie I wrote, but it never really occurred to me that like, oh yeah, you could probably shoot that independently in your hometown. And so
Right.
I've been kind of researching and looking at how that would be possible, and just seeing that like Mississippi has like a lot of like rules and tax incentives that can help like young filmmakers with not the biggest budgets and stuff like that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm from here and I know people. I could probably get favors and things like that. Like I was pop like I just real shit. I was popular when I was like growing up out here.
Yeah.
So,
So are you
so
like because you're from like small town or
very,
like
very
yeah.
small.
So
Probably
when you're back in
probably
town,
less
people
than
are running into you. Tell me about this. What is it like?
yeah, it's been definitely a thing where I don't leave home as much because it's like I don't like running into people like that. Or like I know
Wow,
exactly
you're a
I know
celebrity there.
a little bit. Like my dad is like for real famous out here. Like we went to
Okay.
eat. I met them. My parents still go to church and shit. So like I met them
Hmm.
at a restaurant after they got out of church, and like the people that would like stop at the table to talk to my dad. It was so many people. Like he's like a for real like Mississippi celebrity.
Wow.
So yeah, but yeah, it's just like it's a small town. Like it's probably less than 100,000 people here.
Hmm.
So, anywhere I go, I'm gonna run into somebody that knew me growing up or knows somebody that know me. So it's definitely been kind of like a shock.
What
Like
is
I
it like when you meet people like that today? Does it feel like because I always feel like something I get hung up on is the perception of like yourself to people where I'm like, I feel like I can tell when people think they really know me and I'm like, they don't know me at all.
yeah,
They think they
but
know me, but they
yeah,
don't. Like, or they
they
have a familiarity with me where I'm like, oh, you know this version of me that I like do here with you, you
well
know?
they know the teenage version of me. But
Right, right.
I'm a 31-year-old man
How
now. So,
far do you feel from him?
um,
Or
very
is
fun.
he still kind of close?
I think he I think he dictates kind of like my creativity and shit like that,
Right.
like my humor and stuff. But as far as like the type of people we are, we're completely different. So it's just like talking to people out here, except for like my very, very like close friends. Like I have like three close friends that still live here. Like pretty
Mhm.
much like everybody I grew up with that's black, we all left. So like
Okay, great.
so like the three really good white friends that I have live here. So like
Yeah,
they know the real actual me,
sure.
but like most people are just like clinging on to like, yo, this dude that was cool in high school here, he like does TV stuff. So it's just like they don't really. So
Yeah.
the conversations just really are just like I'll just be nodding my head and be like, all right, well I gotta go, you know. So yeah,
Yeah.
I
You're
don't
not a
leave.
small talker, really. Not a no.
Yeah, I don't, so yeah, I don't really leave the house much unless it's to like go get some food or like
Have you run into any childhood crushes? Oh my God.
no,
Ugh.
uh, no, I don't, no, I haven't. But the restaurant I met my parents at, I sat down, my parents started cracking up because a few booths back, the parents of this girl I dated briefly when I was like 13, 14 were, and I was like, that's just like the small town shit that just like
Yeah.
I was just like, so yeah, so like as soon as like we finished eating, check came and stuff, I like got up and got out because the dad kept like making like eye contact with me, and I was just like, I don't want to like
Did you
talk to you.
have how was your relationship back in the day?
It
Strange
was
or
it was I'll tell you off pod. Yeah, it was
he's looking at you like you're still some sort of a threat or something or a
no, not
person.
even that. It's
Not
just
even.
like what like people in this state do because everybody's like so religious. It's all about like saving
Oh,
face.
sure,
So
sure.
like people will do fuck shit and then see you years later and want to smile on your face and you just be like, "How you do it?" Like be all fake. And I'm just like not that person to be
No.
like I'm just gonna look at you and be like, "Bro, why are we talking? Like there's nothing for us to talk about. What are you doing? Stop wasting your time." But I
Yeah.
could tell like the look he was giving me, it was gonna be one of those like. how you doing, man? Like blah
These
blah blah. And it's like
performances.
your wife and your daughter are terrible people. Please go away. Like I so like I just like
Mhm.
so I was like,
He was looking at you formulating the like little monologue he was gonna do when you guys were
yeah, I could tell
gonna
he was like practicing like what he was gonna
you're
say.
like, oh, what are you doing around these parts? Yeah. That's so funny. I mean, that's the thing. I think about like the interesting weird history like there's like intangible history that we have with people, you know, that like these legends, these stories, these myths that like I wonder if we all remember it the same or not, you know.
No, and it's like the what's the saying that history is written by the winners and shit like that. And so it's just like, yeah, like I'm sure the story you tell people is very different than what happens, especially like if they see me on TV or if they see something like nobody wants to be like, oh, I was very terrible to this man when he was a boy and I was an adult. Like no one wants to like admit
Yes.
that to themselves. So they probably
Yes.
just be like, yo, like he made it. This is so cool. He's from our town. I remember him. But you don't want to like
I
publicly
mean,
acknowledge you were a piece of shit.
it probably like I'll admit it. It's probably immature, but but a very true feeling that I've always had, and I know how it sounds,
Yeah.
is like says because whatever. I feel like you're the same with me as me, where sometimes when you're young and you're me or you're like, I'm really special and I'm just gonna do something big in this world one day. I
Yeah.
always had this thought. I always felt this way,
Yeah.
and I also, as someone was who had been wronged by just enough people, was like, I'm gonna be so fucking pissed when I'm really someone and these people who made my life hell try to claim credit for knowing me.
Yeah.
I'm going to say right here and right now, you did me wrong. You did me wrong. Maybe this is why I made this podcast, because I've definitely talked about people who have wronged me. And early days, I did not change their names.
That's,
I didn't, you know, we're having
yeah.
fun.
It, it's just one of those things like, time goes on. So like me personally, like I don't care. Like it's like I don't care about what you did anymore. Like I'm a grown man. Like
Right.
I'm not thinking about things that were done to me at 14. Like
Yeah.
I don't care. But I'm not gonna let you play in my face and act like we're friends or we're cool. Like that's definitely not gonna happen, you know?
Exactly.
Um,
If I don't hear about it, live your fun life in your little reality. But if
yeah,
it gets to me,
yeah,
I will correct the score.
yeah. Don't go around saying that like we're friends and like I'm so proud of this young man and shit. Like fuck you. Like,
No. Yeah.
but yeah,
In fact, your trauma actually, the trauma that you inflicted on me is a
right.
part of my story, but not in the way that you think.
I really do feel like young kids that do feel special, like they're gonna do something and stuff. I do think like because you don't know this as a kid because you're so confident and believe in yourself, but like I feel like adults that are in places where they're not doing what they either wanted to do or they're not living the life they wanted, they see that in children and they want to kind of like dim the light or stamp that
Yeah.
out. And I
Yeah.
was definitely like real shit, like I was definitely like a kid growing up that I definitely there were adults that saw that in me and thought they were like, well, nah, I'm gonna break that shit. Fuck him. Like that type of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like it happens with young girls especially that feel that like want to be something and do something that like adults in their lives are just like, nah. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Mississippi is like very much a place like that where like if you see somebody young that really wants to do something special or be something special, like everybody makes them try to feel crazy or uh,
Yeah.
all that
Well,
type
I
of
think I think there's like two versions of that too. I think there's that one where it's like the reaction of like how fucking dare you think that you're special, you know?
stuff.
And then I
Yeah.
think there's another one that is also true and almost in some way like more insidious because it's like it's one that thinks it comes from a place of care where and it really just comes from a place of fear of like
Yes.
because I feel like I've had this with like you know I'm probably my dad. I think my dad does believe in me, you know. He doesn't want to really like say it as out loud as like maybe my mom would, but I
Yeah.
think there's also a part of him that has like a fear of me of like anyone. It's like a fear of someone putting themselves out there and like failing. And it's like,
Yeah.
I don't have that fear, frankly, you know,
Right.
but the people that have that fear have also usually stayed stuck in the lives that, you know, that is comfortable or didn't take those risks or maybe took a risk once and felt so bad and horrible and embarrassed and didn't want that to ever happen to,
Yeah.
you know, their daughter or son or whatever, you
Yeah,
know.
it's like the Jay-Z thing. Like he said, he told his uncle like one day I'm gonna sell 1 million records, and he was like, "What? No, nah, no, that's crazy. No, you're not." And it's like now is I've sold 1 million records 1 million times. And it's just like people say the whole thing. Like people basically tell you like when you say you're gonna do something, and somebody's like, "Oh, that's tough," or I don't know if you can do that. It's because they can't do it. So
Right.
they can't fathom you doing it because they can't do it, and so they'll project that fear on you. And usually, the people that do that is your family, like because they care about you or whatever the fuck. But
Mhm.
I think most people are just like they want everybody to stay in the position that they're in,
Yeah.
because then you don't have to examine why it didn't work out for you.
Well, and it's also like a thing of like a faith in a sense of like you know what I believe in the fucking trees, you know. I believe in stuff like I don't believe in like a dude who's a god with a beard or whatever the hell. But like there's this quote. I don't know who said this. Someone said this. I heard this one time. But I've thought about it a lot of like people aren't like afraid of there being no God. They're more afraid of there being actually a God or like a force, because then that implies like there's a responsibility or like you have something to do, like you can do something, like you also have power or blah blah. People are more afraid of the idea of like being implicated in like a big universal fucking thing rather than there not being anything, because it just that changes the stakes, it changes the game a little bit more. And I kind of do believe that. I'm like, I don't think people want the weight of what that could mean. If we were all for real connected, that would mean too much. That would mean everything.
Would
I think we are though. Because we are. That's actually just science. Photosynthesis is a science, you know?
I didn't really listen in science class growing up like that. So
All I know is that light, water, sun, it got us all this stuff, and to me it doesn't make sense because it's magic. You know,
yeah,
science and magic is the same to me.
that's real. Yeah.
That's how I feel. But
Yeah.
you were in the church. You were church vibes, you know?
Growing up, yeah, for sure.
How do you what's your relationship to like, because obviously you have faith in yourself, you have faith in stuff, but what's your relationship to faith now?
Um,
Because you were on the track to be a little to be doing that, right?
yeah,
That's what we talked about in our last
yeah, I definitely
episode.
was. My relationship to it. Um,
Like you didn't go to church with your parents while you're there.
they know not to ask me to do that shit.
You should go as
Um,
a study to research the vibes.
to re-traumatize myself.
See, yeah, I guess I don't want, we know, we do it in a safe way. I'm like, see if does it seem like it's all exactly the same as you remember it?
I mean, I don't know. I don't go
Yeah,
anymore.
I'd be
Um,
interested.
it's just I don't know. It's just like one of those things of like I've been there, done that. I don't need to know anything else. I know it. I know what it's like. I've been there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but it's also one of those things of like I just see the similarities in kind of like every religion, and I just
Mhm.
think I think every culture needed a way to explain what they didn't know.
Mhm.
And I think if we continue to just like accept like, well, this is it. Islam, Christianity, Buddhism,
Yeah.
Judaism, all this type of things, is like we won't progress or evolve to find the new way to explain what we don't know. And so
Mm.
I'm trying to figure that out.
And it's so interesting how in pretty much all of these religions, at some point, there is a subjugation of women. We have to just consider this. That's like a
Yeah.
common denominator in all of them. There was
Yeah.
a, there, listen.
Because I mean, if
There's a
patriarchy,
conversation that needs to be had that I'm not going to have. I can't be
yeah,
the person to start it about certain religions, plural.
patriarchy is a system that we have to dismantle,
Right.
and so the longer patriarchy exists, then it's going to seep into everything else that we do. So it's just like there's
Or
a
be
reason why.
propped up by,
Right. So
you
there's a
know.
reason why like every religion is basically used as a way for men to control women and children and
It's
other
so cuckoo when you just look at it. Like someone needs to just do an awesome Venn diagram graph. You know, it's
yeah.
like every single religion and how do they feel about women? How do they feel about that? You know?
Because I was explaining to somebody like these dangerous cults are able to exist because even in Christianity, in the people that are like doing it right and nice, it's still a patriarchal thing where
Literally.
the men are in control and the women don't talk and stuff like that. And so if that's accepted in the Christianity, which is like the number one religion in America, and it's okay to do that,
Yeah.
then it's just to the cult level of things, it's yeah, they're doing these heinous things because even on the lowest bar of religion, it's still patriarchal, you know?
At its
So
core.
if that makes sense. But yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the other thing that just kind of turns me off to a lot of it, the patriarchal standpoint of it all.
It is a shame that I mean, because I've also just like historically, looked at and, there's all of these examples of the church being like a great organizing space and a community space in a
Right.
revolutionary way. And I wish that that could be the more of the vibe.
Well,
That should be like everything with ICE. That should be every fucking church, like,
yeah.
but it just feels like I don't know.
But
They're all bought. I don't. Maybe there are some church. I'm sure there are some that exist that are doing
that's
that kind of work. But
that's why we have to continue to create new ways because the church was the black organizational ground and
right,
everything. Don't you think the government realizes that? It's like, okay, well, we need to
get it,
structurally
get
change
on
the.
in there.
And so, like when Ronald Reagan ran for president, that's when America America made this thing of like conservatism and Christianity are like the same thing. And
Right.
so seeped into black churches as well. And so, yeah, we get into this thing. And so, like, I think, for black people especially, it's this thing of, I think we've done over the last 15, 20 years, I think we've done this cool job of like divesting from like white opinion on us and respectability politics and that type of thing. Like,
Hmm.
but I think to truly be free, like we have to let go of this capitalistic approach to things in black culture, and then also the religion thing. It just has a chokehold on us. And I think the last like little like stance to get the freedom is like going to have to be to divest from those two things. Because like I get why like black culture is very capitalistic when you've been withheld from capital for
Of
so
course.
long
Well,
and
and
then
it's illusion of power, and
yeah,
yeah,
you finally get like I mean to be real, like black people have been free since like the 70s. Like
like
if we really
and
be
the and
really
the and
okay.
the and the
But we've been
definition
here
of free is very loose,
exactly, but
amorphous.
we've been here since the 1600s though. So how does that even add up? So it's just like we've had rights since the 1970s. That's not a long time. And so economic freedom has been seen as this thing that was gonna like free us and everything. But it's
100%. No, I
so
mean, and this has come up in I've had little debates with, I've bravely had some Cuban debates with my Miami Cuban uncles and whatnot.
yeah.
And it just, they all keep coming back to this idea of freedom and how depressing their idea of freedom is because it's just so clear to me that, Miami Cubans have been like sold an idea of a proximity to whiteness that they can hold in South Florida if they never leave and they just stay in among that group and like accrue power through money. But like literally it's like I sometimes I feel like I'm in a meme. It is really but it's eye-opening. It's like it's been good for me to have an understanding more and more that like, okay, yeah, you guys really equate job and money to freedom, even though obviously that's not true. Like we really got to deconstruct this capitalism thing for some people.
Right. And it's hard to tell people of color that economic freedom isn't real freedom.
Right.
But like if you really look at white people not free.
Well, and this is why I've been trying to say, because it's like, I go back at like both things need to be happening at the same time, where I think that obviously racism is like, people are really trying to push it aside. They're like, they keep trying to say that there's a new, more extreme problem to deal with, not realizing that it's all because of the first problem of the white supremacy and the racism and the fact that y'all keep fucking pushing it aside. So I'm like, this needs to be dealt with first and foremost at the same time as white people devaluing money. And like white people also, people with the money need to start acting like and really breaking down that this shit means nothing and redistributing it as so.
I mean, that's the thing that a lot of black and brown people have a problem with, like white leftists, that is just like it's like completely jumping over the whole racism thing to be like it's class, we got to stop this, and it's like okay, cool. Let's say one day, let's say tomorrow, it's some revolution. We all don't pay rent. We don't go to our jobs anymore. We don't do all this. We get the economic whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Billionaires are like, fine, we'll all be on the same playing field. We could do it. Then, but it's just like if you racist, then it's just still gonna cause all these.
You're still gonna be racist.
But
Yeah.
it's like I don't know. White people just have this very much a thing of like I was laughing about it this morning because I've always wanted to write a joke about it. I got to figure out. But like white people's problem is they all think they're the one white person that's not the problem.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's 100. It's that. It's like it's an expansion of the bystander effect. Like I think about the bystander effect all the time, and that I just feel like everyone's doing like we're in a world of it, you know, where everyone's just kind of like someone will deal, not me. Someone will deal, not me, you know. And I'm like, if we're all doing that, bro, that is how people die, literally.
No, straight up. And so it's just like, if people aren't gonna accept the fact that this sin of racism has not been healed and all these things that don't need to get fixed, then it's just like us all getting money one day or all like being economically free or whatever is
Yeah.
not gonna stop racial violence, racial tension, all this type of shit. So so it's one of those racism is like this thing that needs to really be dealt with. And it was just like it felt like summer 2020 was gonna be that time, but then shit gets co-opted, and so it's just like I feel like America has never really had to reckon with why we're here because people don't want to talk about why we're here or how we got here.
Right.
Um, and yeah, so it's but so to go from like we're not gonna talk about how we got here, but hey, but this we gotta change where we're at right now. This is really bad. It's just kind of like you're a victim. You're like a victim of like the moment.
It's a fool's errand, and it's also it's like I think that we need to really think about it as like collective intergenerational trauma. Like treat it like what it is, which is a series of relationships that have been so fraught by this thing, this trauma. Treat it like fucking therapy. Like, and therapy is hard. You cry. It's, if you're doing therapy right, like you are feeling stuff. You are, like there needs to be a like big fucking processing in a real way, in a structure. And this is where I'm like, I mean, it just all comes back to abolish the police for me, honestly. I'm like, I was thinking about it earlier. I'm going to do, frankly, because I guess I'm doing reels now. I'm going to do a reel about it. We got to, I guess, do fucking reels. Jesus. Though I will say on the patriarchy tip, it's like to be a woman online these days, while they hate you, they fucking hate you. They want you to remember you're a dumb bitch. You're dumb. The stuff you're talking about, you don't even know anything about, stupid hoe. That's kind of how they are. But I'll still do reels in spite of it. But no, I mean, I was thinking it was like the 6-year anniversary of Breonna Taylor. Like Breonna Taylor really, it's like, and thinking about her makes me nuts, like, because then it It's just the fact that there are so many. There are like, and that is obviously the point. And especially after the Renee Good of it all, I'm just like,
Yeah. Yeah. Where
the
was the
thing is,
all
there's
lives
no
matter?
accountability for the police besides abolishing them. So sorry, that's it.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's crazy. You talk about the police, and I'm in my hometown, so I don't
yeah.
know if you've ever heard of the Rankin County Goon Squad.
No, tell me.
So this was a thing a few years ago. They got national attention from the county that I live in. But basically, it was like a group of police that had like a group chat, and they would award each other points for like terrorizing people. And I'm gonna spare you the details if you ever want to go look it up and see the
Yeah.
nasty, awful things they were doing to people. You can. But a dude I went to high school with was a part of it. Um, but it's just crazy that basically it was white police officers, and so they targeted black people, especially, and then they also targeted poor white people that already had like either drug arrest on their record already.
Yeah.
Basically, they were targeting people that like basically, for lack of better words, is like no one's gonna give a fuck about you. And so a lot of times they would try to get false confessions and things like that when they're abusing these people. And so the reason they got caught is because what they would do is to intimidate people, they would just put a gun in your mouth. And this black dude, basically, they were trying to get him to make a false confession, and he's trying to tell them, "I don't know anything." These police officers are idiots, and so I guess whoever did it forgot the safety on the gun, shot him. And so they all start like screaming, and they run out because they're like, "Oh shit, we killed a guy! Like, get out of here!" And it's just like he survived.
Ah,
He survived and was able to tell his story, and
oh my
that's how
God.
that's how they all got caught. And they got the investigation going and stuff like that, and they found the group chats and the text messages. And so the trial's been going on for like the last couple of years and stuff. I have a friend that's a lawyer that worked on it and stuff. And
Mhm.
it's just this dude wrote this really cool like Medium article about it. He's not from Mississippi, but he had just learned about the story and was talking about it and was like, people here in Mississippi are like, yeah, that was gross. Stop that. Like, let's
Mhm.
punish these men. And when these moments come out, like the Derek Chauvin that killed George Floyd and
Mhm.
all this type of stuff, what white America does is they treat these things like they're like the isolated incident. Like, this is not policing and this isn't how you're supposed to do it.
This is not
So,
representative of what this is
so
supposed to be
Right. So we'll make an example out of these people, but then we don't change policing at all.
at all.
And so they really think that it's just like that person's just a bad person and not that that's police. And it's because they have this warped sense of reality with police. But I'll ask white people all the time, I'll be like, yo, when was the last time a police officer did something to help you?
Right.
They can't tell you anything. And I go,
Exactly.
you think that shit because you see police do stuff on TV and
Exactly.
TV shows and shit growing up.
We come back to abolish the cop show every time. We
Yeah,
got to talk about it every episode, and I will.
the propaganda shit has to stop. And
It's
it's just like
everything.
you think the police protect you because your favorite actors played a police officer.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy played a cop,
Yeah.
Martin played a cop, Mel Gibson played a cop. Like it's just like
Mark
all these,
Ruffalo played a bird watching cop.
yeah.
Hate to
And
see
so
it.
like all these your favorite actors and actresses play cops growing up, and so you don't associate bad things with police. And so when they do awful things to people, and you're like, well, that's not how police are, and we're trying to tell you, yeah, they are. That's why I always ask, like, when has a police officer ever done something good for you or actually helped you? Like at the very least, a cop just like didn't kill you. Like that's the bar,
Right.
or like or they were just not helpful at all. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so yeah, most people can't really tell you when a police officer is done. Like when a police officer actually has done something, like the the most dire of needs, or like you had to do something. Like I saw the other day, like in New York the other day, it was a girl that was gonna like jump off a building or whatever, and so like the police put out the
The
I don't
thing,
know,
the
the tarp thing to catch
yeah,
her.
the net thing.
It's like, yeah, they had to do that. If
I
they
know.
didn't do that, you're gonna be looking at them like, yo, what the
What
fuck?
the
So like,
hell?
and
Yeah.
you think of like that school in Texas where there's a school shooter inside of it, and the police just stood outside because they didn't want to go in. But if they had said, "Hey, it's a Muslim dude in there with a gun," kid, and he's about to blow the thing up, like they're gonna run in there. You know what I'm saying? Like It's just like it's just crazy that they didn't do this job that we say they're heroes to do, and
Yeah.
that parents of the children had to go run in there and try to do something about it. And they were stopping parents from going in there because they wouldn't go in there. And so, police are, ultimately useless. They
I
just
just saw a
protect.
thing yesterday about a man who was shot and a black man who was shot by the police in whatever pursuit. And then apparently one of the police officers had a mild panic attack. They put that police officer in an ambulance, the first ambulance that came. They put that police officer in the ambulance. So by the time that the ambulance came back to get the guy who was shot, it had been 25 minutes. He got to the hospital 15 minutes after the cop, and he died. And he died. Like, and he was bleeding. Like, and this is why I say it's like, you cannot reform this. You cannot reform this. You cannot reform this. Okay.
And it's like we've talked about it before of like,
Yeah.
that's why so many people had this like reaction to ICE, and it's because you weren't propagandized to hate ICE. In fact,
Yeah.
it's a new thing. And that was because like organizers, I saw what they were doing. Like the way they framed it was like these dudes are not qualified to be doing what they're doing. And so like
And it's
that's
like, I saw someone say, like, you want them to get like trained to shoot, like you want them to get like better aim, like that's what better training will be. What the fuck?
exactly. And so like everybody's just like fuck ICE and everything because you don't have a childhood of like being told
Yeah.
that they're good for you because they didn't
Yeah.
exist or whatever.
Right.
So it's just like, man, like if we didn't have propaganda, imagine what people's reaction, because I feel like a lot of people want to like have a reaction to the police, but then it's just like this thing holding them back of like, but no, like I bet some of them are good. And it's just like, but that's the thing. It's like, even if some of them were good, a system at hand that just lets people ride around cities with guns
Right.
with impunity is just not a good system.
And that's what ACAB is. That's what the whole concept of that is that it's not about the individual cop. It's about if you are the cop, you are upholding the structure. Anything that's making the structure happen is the thing,
If I worked at a restaurant that was known for every day they pick two people to get food poisoning. But I don't ever give anybody
Do
food.
it.
I
Yeah.
just go do my job, clock in, serve the food, go home. But I know two niggas gonna get food poisoning today because that's just what they do. And there's three guys that work there that's their favorite part of the job is giving niggas food poisoning. I'm just as bad as them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just as bad as them
It's
because I
really
know I
true.
know it's happening, and there might be a day where I'm just like, you know what? I think it'd be fun to spit in somebody's food today. I think I'm gonna do it. I'm feeling a little silly. I'm gonna do it,
You see it all
and
the
I'm able to
time.
do it.
You see how
I'm able
normal
to
it is.
see how normal it is, and I'm able to do it because the system we have in place at this restaurant is we get to poison two people every day. So it's like, hey, let me have a shot at it. This one time. Let me. So it's and I know I'm protected when I do it because it's been set up. This is the thing that we do, and
Yeah.
so it's just like if you uphold the system, if you're a part of it and you see it, because it's just like what's going on. It's just like it's the fact that we know that there's gangs within the police and that tattoos resemble like what gang they're like all this type of
Yeah.
shit. And so like I feel like in my hometown, especially, it's I'm in Mississippi, it's conservative. Even the people who are moderates or Democrats are low key
Right.
conservative out here. And so when that happened, it was just like this whole like, what? They were doing that to people? And it's like, yeah, bro, that's what they do.
I know it's such a weird space to occupy when all of these people are acting shocked about a thing that you know is not shocking. And you want them to be shocked, but you're also annoyed that they're shocked. So it's like, maybe if you weren't shocked, we wouldn't be like, maybe if you know what I mean? Like,
And so they try to separate this group of six people from the rest of the department. But it's just like, how can you separate them when the other people in the department just pretended like it wasn't happening?
yeah. I mean, I think it also like, on such like a personal, like relationship to relationship level, it's funny. Because it is relationship stuff, right? Like I remember being in my horrible bad relationship where his mental health and his health in general and the way that he was living when we were in an intimate relationship living together, like 100% affected me. And I remember having conversations that would make me feel insane trying to explain how, like, if you are yelling and throwing shit because you can't find the fucking remote, and now I have PTSD because, trigger warning, I got punched one time, that affects me. And it feels crazy to, and not to make it gendered. I'm not, not to, but I will say it's a thing that I've had to explain to, like, I feel more men than women in my life, that it's like, you are not an isolated being. None of us are isolated beings. Everything that you are doing when we are in close relationship to each other is affecting me. And even if you're doing this in our close relationship, and it's going to have a ripple effect to that person fucking 3 miles away. You don't even know. You know what I mean? Like, this is where I get woo woo with my nature shit. I'm just like, stop thinking you're an island, like, and it expands out into every part of life. No violence is isolated. You know what I mean? Just like no illusion. I think about illusions and crushes, classroom crush, blah, blah, blah. It's like this illusion that generationally people have had towards law enforcement in general, towards the law, this, like, equating them to morality. Like, me and Daddy talked about it on our episode. Like, he said, adults with heroes, like, it is like a crush. It's like you're having a crush on this idea, and it's not realistic. It's not actually based in fact. You're going to get duped. You're going to get rejected by that crush because it's not real, girl. It's not real.
Yeah. No, I definitely see that. It's just, I see that in, like, my own work, like in Hollywood, like this illusion of what it was or what I thought it was, and then you get into it and you realize it isn't what you thought, or it is what you heard and you didn't want to believe it.
Right.
Because I've written for television for the last few years, and the experience has made me not want to write for TV anymore.
Yeah.
And that was the sole purpose of me moving to LA, and I don't even want to do it anymore. Like, it was kind of soul crushing for a little bit. But it's one of those things of, like, I think it kind of teaches you and shows you what you need to do, if that makes any sense. So it's just like when you kind of, like, get rid of these illusions of what these systems and what these things are, I think you figure out, like, what your solution is and what your place is to, like, try to make things better for other people and things like that.
Or at least that's how, like, that's the antidote, right? Because I think that I'm finding, and that's why I'm trying to be so loud. Like, it's funny. My mom and I were talking. She gave me some unsolicited advice on my podcast where she was like, maybe you should have 2 podcasts, like one which is the crushes and, like, one which is, like, the other thing. And I'm like, no, it's the same thing for me now. If people want to tune in for crushes and they don't give a shit about my politics stuff, but they want to hear about it, you're going to hear about it. Sorry, it's all the same thing to me now. Like, I need to be so loud about this because, unfortunately, it's my tolerance for, like, opting into your false reality, that is not involving all of this. I can't do it anymore. And I will say it's going to make dating really hard. I will say it's already making it hard. I'm like, dang.
It definitely does.
Right? I don't know what to do about that, but continue to be so loud about, because I don't want to have to explain to any crush or person that I'm, like, kissing, that, like, why abolish the police? Like, because if I have to explain why abolish the police, then I just have to explain my whole damn self.
Oh, straight up. No, that's so real. Fuck.
It's how I really feel, because I'm like, I can't separate these things. And if I have to explain myself, then I'm not just being myself. And I want to just be myself,
Exactly. No, I feel you 100%. And it makes it a lot tougher. It makes the dating pool go there, because I just don't want to, you don't want to be with somebody that's, like, on that it's not that deep shit all the time. Like, I hate that shit.
I hate that. It is that deep. Why else are we alive? Like, I don't know. How do people, because I think so much, and maybe it is, like, the PTSD, like, getting punched thing, because I've never had a fear of death. Like, since I was little, I was like, that's not, like, my fear, I'm like, I'm scared of the dark. Okay. I'm like, I don't like more the unknown than death necessarily. I'm more scared of, like, my sibling dying or someone,
Okay.
But But lately I've been thinking about death, not in like a fear sense, but just in a sense of like, no, but like we are gonna die. And we don't know when it's gonna happen. And
Yeah.
I have this thing that I get so annoyed. And I'm realizing I think it's because of trauma. Like I hate, like let's say you're at a coffee shop or something and you run into someone you know and you're like, you talk for a second and then they leave. But they leave without saying goodbye. I hate this. I hate this. You're not going to say goodbye? I could die. You could die. We never know when the last time we're going to say goodbye to each other is going to be. Okay. I'm feeling this urgency. You're going to die one day. So how annoyed are you? How stressed are you going to be about those taxes? And also you're not going to say goodbye. These are two things that to me are the same. You're rolling your eyes. You're an Irish goodbyer. And I know this. I already know this about you. I haven't even seen it, but I can tell. And I'm telling you, you have to say goodbye because we might die.
That's funny. I'm definitely an Irish goodbye.
I know. Why is that? You're scared to say goodbye? You don't like attention? You like attention. Controlled?
I just think it's just like when I'm ready to go,
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to go.
That's
And
true.
I'm a magnetic person. People are gonna want to talk. People are gonna want to talk a long time.
That's true.
And so I just know it's gonna be a lot to. Oh, Niles, you're leaving. Oh, Niles is leaving. It's just like
I will
that's
say, as
another.
you're saying this right now, I am remembering the phenomenon of the Cuban goodbye, which is that it does take you an hour to leave the party because you're
That's what I'm
saying
saying.
goodbye to everyone, and it does. But maybe
I
that to me
also
that's
grew up with
beautiful.
I also grew up with a black mom that she gonna talk for an hour after church.
Yeah.
And so it's just like when I'm ready, I have to go. So I just do.
Okay. Well, all I ask is that, you consider if this were the last time I were to ever see this person, would I be okay with how this went down?
I just don't ever consider that.
No, I know. And this is why I say it's probably trauma. It's probably a trauma brain thing. but at least I'm trying to think of, can we live every moment as if it is important,
There's a lot of people that don't know I didn't leave LA.
They don't know how to what?
There's a lot of people that don't know that I left LA. They'll figure it out.
Oh my God. I know that's true. You didn't have like a big goodbye LA thing.
No.
You're just, we're very different in that way. You have
Because the last
mystery
time
and I can't.
The last time I did a big goodbye LA thing, I was back within 17 days.
Well, but where did you go? Where were you supposed to?
I went to New York. I moved to New York officially.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
and then I got a writing job that required me to be in LA within 17 days of being in
But
New York.
that's like a fun story though.
Yeah, but it was just kind of like, but it was like, bro, you just announced that you left. So I was just like, now,
That
so
is you're embarrassing.
since that happened, I don't announce where I'm going or where I'm, because like, yeah, I had one friend that was just kind of like, so you just like Irish goodbye to LA, and I was like, yeah. She's like, I'm
Yeah,
coming.
pretty much.
And I was like, okay. Like I don't feel the need to tell everybody what I'm doing 24/7.
The people who were really like fucking with you would be like, "Where the fuck are you?" You know what I mean? That's how I also feel.
Yeah.
I'm like, that was funny. Like, I remember when I left Chicago, people being like, "Oh my God, no!" Like, me being like, this was my version of that was like the last improv show or whatever I do is like, "Hey, this is probably the last time I'm going to see you because I'm leaving Chicago," and they'd be like, "Oh, but I'm sure I'll see you when you visit." And I'd be like, "Visit? Why did I visit? We're not close enough." We never became close enough friends for me. This is why I'm leaving, But people just say stuff, it's fine.
They'll see me when they see me.
Do you feel like you're gonna repair any like do you have any like personal missions while you're in Mississippi? Are there things that you need to like reflect on? Like how are you are we healing intergenerational trauma on our visit? Because like we have been talking about this the whole time is how we have to do that,
Nah, I don't think I have like a tangible mission or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like definitely reflecting on a lot of things on my life and stuff. Like
You'll realize all of it like 6 months later. You'll be like,
yeah. But no, I definitely feel like I'm living my second like life. I don't know if that makes sense, but like
expand.
I feel like
your alternate life.
No, I feel like this is like the second phase.
Oh, the next part, next chapter.
Like I don't even
Well, yeah,
like
you
it.
went through your Saturn return. I don't care. I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I don't feel like the person I was even like a year ago anymore.
What are your signs? You know them all?
I'm an Aquarius sun,
Okay.
a Leo rising.
This makes a lot of sense.
Why? What is that? I don't know what all these
Because
things
of
mean.
how you said 3 minutes ago or whatever that you were a very magnetic person. It's a
I
very
am.
Leo thing to say.
I have a Virgo moon.
Okay. Okay. This is all connecting the dots. This is
I
making
mean, I am a
sense.
magnetic person. That's just
No, I
that's
know.
just-
I'm not disagreeing with you.
people
I'm just
people
like
people love me.
absolutely.
Sometimes I just want them all to leave me alone.
You just yeah, you can't take it all. You just can't take it all.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Niles, are you is love on your mind? We'll wrap up soon, but we'll wrap up with some crush stuff. Is love on your mind, or is the love of the game of the career on your mind these days?
It's crazy that you asked that because literally, I would say if it's March, I would
It's
say like 4 months ago, I had like a shift where it was just like the career stuff. It's important to me.
Mhm.
Um, but I feel like up until like last year, I think it was so important to me that it like completely like ran my life, my decisions, where I needed to be,
Right.
all this type of stuff. But I think now I know exactly what I need to do. So it's just not as important to me anymore because like I know I'm gonna do it and I know what I have to do. So it's just like I don't feel a pressure or an anxiety about it anymore. It's just like
Mhm.
I know what I have to do and it'll happen. So it's just not as like prevalent and important. I definitely think like love is like the number one thing on my mind now.
Oh, but you're gonna go to so the plan is New York, right?
Hopefully, who knows? We'll see.
Plan
Everything.
is the vibe is the New York is Mom Donnie Stan.
We're figuring it out.
We're figuring it out.
Yeah.
What do you? What are you like? Okay, it's time. Long term relation, wifey o'clock.
Yeah,
Like, are you trying to get serious town? Or are you trying to just like,
yeah, I think so. I,
yeah,
I think so. It just like you said, it's just knowing the things I know, doing what I'm doing. It has to be like a specific person, and it has to be someone that I'm aligned with, and all these things and stuff. So like you don't have to explain so much, or the things I am explaining, it's because I know you're gonna understand it and
right?
see for what I. So like explaining is not that big of a deal. Um, but yeah, I do think that's where I'm headed mentally.
Oh
Will it
shit!
happen? Will it happen? I don't know. I
Who's
don't
to
know. Like
say? I'm
who's to
like,
say?
I feel like it'll,
But it's
I feel like
definitely like a
as
priority.
yeah, it's definitely it's in there. Do you feel like
Yeah.
beyond the like values thing, do you think that anything has like shifted in what you're looking for? Like what kind of, dynamic you're trying to get into?
Um, Someone that like really would be like a support system for me as far as
Mhm.
like emotionally, mentally, like with the work that I do and everything.
Mhm.
Yeah, that like what I wouldn't say like you find somebody that gets it, like understands it, but it's just like, that just understands that this is what I do, and because and the time I spend doing it is not indicative of like, oh, they don't want to be with me. They're spending so much time doing it. Like I'm just
Right.
31. I just don't have the time to have those conversations anymore.
Yeah.
Um, but then also I think I've learned better on balance. Like I just wasn't good at that in relationships like a few years ago. Like I was just so hell bent on making these things happen that I let a lot of like relationships go to the wayside. And that's just like an L I got to take on the chin. But I definitely think I've learned more so of like balance and like actually doing this right. So yeah,
Yeah.
I
He's
would have.
ready, folks. If you're
Yeah,
listening. If you're
yeah.
listening, slide. Would you respond to a DM? Would you respond to nice um what did we used to call them? Slip and slide?
Yeah, I consider it.
Have you ever done a slip and slide? I mean the actual thing.
Yeah, as a kid, yeah, I'm from the
Yeah.
South, bro. Yeah,
Yeah. Those things were wild. We were doing dangerous stuff on
That
those.
was very dangerous. Like you can break your neck doing that shit.
100%. I was watching my grandma when I saw her. She was watching basically like a Spanish Telemundo like Big Brother. It was like Casa de los Famosos, just like famous people in a house, and they were doing us like a very slip and slide type challenge. And I was like, that stuff is really tough. They were really just letting us do anything on those lawns.
Was just like you really gotta survey the patch of grass you put that on because there might be a pine cone under that bitch or a rock or something, and now you sliding across to that. Like, dude, like that shit was dangerous.
And we're actually literally, we have slip and slid into an incredible metaphor for love. If you think about it, you gotta survey the landscape before you slide. There might be dangerous stuff under there. It might hurt you. You might break your neck. Or you'll just, or you'll glide. When it's right, you'll just glide, baby. You'll be refreshing splash. We're doing genius stuff on my podcast, Niles.
Jesus Christ.
I'm glad we got people said she can't do it. She can't make it about love in the end. She can't connect the dots. Watch me. I've been doing this for a long time. Nobody's asked me to, but I have.
Full circle. That was good.
Full circle. Oh my God, Niles, thank you so much for coming back on the pod. Okay, we'll do one little tiny last segment, which I made up last time, which is just what do you have a crush on right now? What do you like? What are you into these days?
Yeah.
Besides your own, creative journey, which we've plugged and we have all the links and we're bing bong boom.
What do I have a crush on? I think the people who are artists and aligned and are on the same wavelength, I just feel like there's something really cool happening. Like I see like a lot of support and sharing resources and coming together. I see a lot of just like preparation. Like I think I think the next 5 years, independent art is about to be just so fucking cool.
It's gonna be inevitable. We're gonna make it undeniable.
Yeah,
because this shit is bullshit.
Exactly, and I think it's like never before. And because it's like one of those things of like I feel like everybody has this attitude of like, did you think we just weren't gonna just figure it out or make stuff? Like,
right,
dude, are you serious? And
you have such a low opinion of us.
Exactly, and it's like creating with a chip on your shoulder, but like with a community focus of it. And I think a lot of cool things are coming together. I'm hearing a lot of cool stuff. I'm working on a lot of cool stuff. I know people that are doing cool shit, and I'm just really like excited for what's coming together and that when the resources get there, like what's gonna happen. So it's really fun to like watch it. Like I've never been on the ground floor of something before, so I'm like really excited. Yeah,
I totally agree. I really see it happening, and folks listening, watching, you're gonna want to be a part of this movement, okay? And as we said on the Daddy episode, $1, $5, $10, whatever it is really helpful. It means something, and it's like beyond the tangible resource support that it is. Like people, I think people are sharing more of each other's stuff than before. I think it's like, my stupid little viral-ish video about cost of living is literally about the horrors of capitalism and how we can chip away at it the more that we invest in ourselves. Money is fake, and use that to divert it to the people who could actually take that fake thing and turn it into something that means something and that's real. Because if not, you're just giving it you're giving the fake thing to the very bad big company that is only turning it into propaganda and things that are going to be bad for you. And the things that are bad in this world right now are really, 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 really bad. But I think that the people who give a fuck and are trying to do something in the face of that and considering that are good, and we have to support them, and we have to do like things are more clear than ever before. This Paramount merger, thank you guys. Thank you. I clap, clap, clap for these fuck ass Ellisons because we already knew that this was what they were doing. At least you're doing it so clearly and out loud, and there can be no ambiguity, and you guys cannot fight me on the type of shit, the intentions behind this media takeover. Okay? Thank you. We've seen it in black and white. We will move accordingly. Put your $5 where it should go. Okay? Sorry, I yelled for a little bit, but I'm excited. I also have a crush on all of those things. Niles, give them the plugs of your places.
Shit, I don't care about social media. I don't give a fuck if you
He
follow
doesn't
me.
care anymore about it, but you can find him also at.
But I have a Kickstarter page for my film, The Booth. And look, if you would like to give us anything, like she said, $1, $5, $20, $1 million, if it's something slight, you know what I'm saying?
Heard
Help us
someone
out.
had $1 million recently, and I gasped. And we'll talk about it off mic.
Hell yeah. But yeah, we're just trying to finish this movie. It's gonna make you laugh. It's hilarious. It's just raw and independent, and no company would ever make this. We got our first no the other day, and it was
Badge of honor.
yeah, the 3 scenes I sent Rebecca, I sent to this company, and yeah, they were just like, yeah, we didn't. What was the wording? Something about like we just didn't spark to it, to be the producer. So yeah, of course they were white. You could just tell by like the passive aggressiveness.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was also like it was one of those things of I was like, yo, if I send this to them and they fuck with it, that means it's not good.
These are barometers. We have
And
to,
so
we're shifting.
I was testing the waters to see what it was, and so like it was just like if they passed on it, like okay, this is hilarious because
Yeah.
like I knew they would be too scared to jump on.
Touch it.
But
Yeah.
if they weren't, I was gonna gladly take their money. But
100%.
yeah, but
And
it was a barometer of basically like, oh, okay, yeah, we do have something really funny because they passed on it. So yeah.
send $5, be a part of history. History is now. Don't think about history as the past. History is right now. Did you know? We're writing it today.
Yeah.
Wow. We're having an incredible time. Thank you so much for coming on, Niles. I can't wait to see what happens next. I can't wait to see till both of us get thousands and thousands of dollars now and to make the independent things that are going to absolutely mean something. And we're not even just doing bullshit. You can find me at Rebecca Bones, blah, blah, blah. The end. Anything else? This was great. Bye.
Bye.